The desert sun blazed over the stone towers of Damascus, casting long shadows across the palace courtyard where men in armor whispered of conquest. At the heart of this gathering stood Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, a man of power, pride, and perilous ambition. He was no ordinary monarch, he was the ruler of a fierce and ancient kingdom, and he had gathered his strength for war. His eyes burned with determination as he looked toward the southwest, toward the hills and valleys of Samaria, where Ahab ruled the northern kingdom of Israel. Ben-Hadad, swollen with pride and intoxicated with success, had tasted victory before, and now he wanted more. He summoned 32 kings, allies, and vassals under his influence, and together they prepared for siege. Ben-Hadad's heart was stirred not merely by greed, but by a desire to humiliate and dominate. He sent envoys to Ahab with an arrogant message: "Your silver and gold are mine, and the best of your wives and children also belong to me." He expected swift submission, a fearful bowing of knees. And Ahab, cornered and confused, initially agreed. But Ben-Hadad was not satisfied with gold. Pride rarely is. His second demand was deeper: he would send his servants into Ahab's palace and strip it bare, taking whatever they pleased. It was not conquest, it was plunder, humiliation, and dominion. Ahab conferred with the elders of Israel, and this time he refused. Fury darkened Ben-Hadad's face. How dare this lesser king defy him? He vowed destruction and swore, "By the gods of Aram, may the gods deal with me, be it ever so severely, if enough dust remains in Samaria to give each of my men a handful." His arrogance echoed across the sands. But Ahab, surprisingly bold, responded with cutting wit: "One who puts on his armor should not boast like one who takes it off." The word stung. Ben-Hadad, drunk in his tent alongside his fellow kings, took offense. His pride could not bear to be mocked. He ordered his men to prepare for battle. Siege engines were rolled toward Samaria's walls. War drums thundered. But in the camp of Israel, a prophet of the Lord appeared. Though Ahab was a wicked king, God had not abandoned his people. The prophet declared, "This is what the Lord says: Do you see this vast army? I will give it into your hand today, and then you will know that I am the Lord." The battle began, and Ben-Hadad was caught off guard. His drunkenness dulled his instincts, and his confidence betrayed him. Israel, led by a mere handful of commanders and soldiers, struck swiftly. Panic seized the Aramean camp. Ben-Hadad, watching his mighty coalition crumble, fled on horseback with a few officers, leaving behind the ruins of his pride. Yet Ben-Hadad lived, and he was not finished. The following year, his commanders advised him, "Israel's gods are gods of the hills. That's why they were stronger than us. Let us fight them on the plains, and surely we will win." Foolishly, they believed that Yahweh was confined by geography. They rebuilt their army, vast as before, and returned to challenge Israel. Again, God spoke to Ahab through a prophet: "Because the Arameans think the Lord is a God of the hills and not of the valleys, I will deliver this vast army into your hands." And once more, the Lord's word came true. Israel, like a small flock of goats before a vast army, struck down the Syrians with devastating force. 100,000 fell in a single day, and the rest fled to Aphek, where the city wall collapsed and crushed many more. Ben-Hadad survived again, hiding in shame behind closed doors. His advisors, desperate to save him, suggested a plan. "The kings of Israel are merciful. Dress in sackcloth. Put ropes around our heads. Go and plead for mercy." And so, Ben-Hadad, the king who had once demanded silver, gold, and women, now bowed as a beggar before the man he had sought to humiliate. Ahab, moved by the gesture, spared him. Ben-Hadad was brought up into Ahab's chariot, a symbol of peace and parity. They made a treaty, and Ben-Hadad promised to return the cities his father had taken from Israel and to allow trade in Damascus. Ahab called him "my brother," and the Aramean king returned home, his pride broken but his life intact. But heaven was watching. A prophet approached Ahab soon after, having disguised himself with a bandage. He told a parable of a man who let a captive escape, a man who deserved death. When Ahab unknowingly pronounced judgment on himself, the prophet removed the disguise and declared, "This is what the Lord says, you have set free a man I had determined should die. Therefore, it is your life for his, your people for his people." Though Ahab had shown mercy, it was misplaced. Ben-Hadad was not a man of peace but of cunning. His heart was not changed. He would return to be a thorn in Israel's side again. Years passed, and the tides of power shifted. During the reign of Elisha the prophet, Ben-Hadad grew old and fell ill. As he lay on his bed in Damascus, he sent Hazael, a trusted court official, to inquire of the prophet, "Will I recover from this illness?" Hazael approached Elisha with camels bearing gifts. Elisha looked into Hazael's eyes and wept. Hazael was puzzled. "Why is my lord weeping?" Elisha replied, "Because I know the harm you will do to the Israelites. You will set fire to their fortresses, kill their young men, dash their little ones, and rip open their pregnant women." A chill filled the air. "But what is your servant, a mere dog, that he should do such a thing?" Hazael asked. Elisha's words burned, "The Lord has shown me that you will become king of Aram." Hazael returned to Ben-Hadad and delivered the message. "You will certainly recover." But the next day, he took a wet cloth, spread it over the king's face, and smothered him. Ben-Hadad died, not by the sword in battle, not by old age, but betrayed in his own palace. Thus ended the reign of Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, a man who once commanded armies, terrified kings, and dared to defy the living God. His story is a tale of pride, mercy, and betrayal. He rose high and fell low, not because he lacked armies, but because he misunderstood the God of Israel. His name lingers as a reminder that no throne, no alliance, no arrogant boast can stand against the will of the Lord.